Do you remember when people used to buy two-door coupes? It seems like such a long time ago that they were a popular car. When I was a kid, there were two-door coupes everywhere. Well, Honda in 1978 launched a car called the Prelude, and it was hugely successful. It went on to have 5 different generations, and then they killed it in the early 2000s. Well, for whatever reason, despite the fact that people are seemingly preferring bloaty stuff like SUVs now, Honda have brought back the Prelude, and this is it. It's hybrid. It's got the DNA of Civic Type R in the suspension and chassis department, but it's still a two-door coupe. How refreshing to have a car like this going into 2026. But in order to review it, I thought, well, I've got a very strong affinity to the Prelude based upon some memories from when I was at university, and I shared a house with a chap who was obsessed with his cousin's Prelude to the point where he thought it was the fastest car in the world. And if you listen to the Smith and Sniff podcast, of which I'm 50%, you might have heard these stories. So I had to bring someone else to come with me to review this. He's called Richard Porter.
Hi.
He's there.
Hi there.
So in this episode, you're going to watch us try and review the new Honda Prelude. Is it any good? Is it relevant? And are we excited by it? I'm certainly excited by it because there aren't that many new cars right now that launch that are genuinely interesting at the moment to me.
Well, let's find out.
Yes, let's do that. I'm Jonny Smith, you're watching The Late Break Show, Believe.
Yeah.
So to put the Prelude fetish, you can't call it a fetish,
No.
the Prelude love interest into context, just want to explain to viewers who aren't maybe familiar with the Smith and Sniff podcast. I used to go to university, shared a house with a guy from Coventry called Harpal, who was a very interesting guy and used to go out and party a lot and used to regale stories of his mates in cars, one of which was, I think, his cousin, who had a Honda Prelude.
Yes.
Who thought it was the highest revving, fastest, most powerful car he'd pretty much experienced in his 18 years of being on the planet.
Crucially, and we've said this many times, that this Prelude was a 2.2.
Yes.
Not like a 2 litre like this, and certainly it was a hybrid because it had VTEC, and that's another important part of what caused Harpal to be so impressed with it.
It's the madness of the RPM, and he used to say "believe" after the end of many sentences.
Oh right, okay. Because whenever you've said that, I didn't know that's just an embellishment that you'd put in.
No, so he'd say something like, "Oh, you're not going to believe it, mate. Like we went out and like some guy like bought us a bottle of like champagne for like 800 quid." And then we go, "What? No way." And he'd go, "Yeah, believe." So there was always just a add to the statement.
Underline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how the whole 2.2, it was almost like a thing of worship. And now here we are in the rebooted Prelude. So
what do you think so far?
First impressions are this. You've got to remember in your head what the DNA of the Lude has been. Almost a Quaalude, in that it's so quiet.
Yes.
And relaxing. And I think there's a level of refinement. In my head, I'm trying to compare it to the likes of like the GR86 Toyota or the Supra.
Yeah, it's not that. And I don't think
that.
It was really ever that, was it?
No.
You know, my sort of peak Lude in my head was mid-80s four-wheel steering.
Yeah, boxy.
Prelude. But was that... It wasn't really a
and then it went 90s went slat eye and then it went froggy eye.
Yes, well, the eagle-eyed, the Carl Fogarty-faced Prelude
Oh yeah.
was a genuinely nice-looking car, I think.
Yeah.
And those quite interesting, almost like sort of XJS-shaped rear lights.
Yeah.
It was a nice-looking car,
Yeah.
but in quite a low-key sort of, I'm not making a fuss
Yeah.
kind of way.
Yeah.
And I always suspected that a lot of Preludes were automatics.
Yeah, because it was, like you said before, it's a bit of an easy listening coupe.
Like Jazz.
Yeah, it's Jazz.
From Honda.
Yeah, it is.
Obviously
And-
not an actual Jazz, Honda Jazz, but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that kind of, it just, there's something a bit sort of Kenny G about it, and
But with incredible build quality.
Yeah.
And robustness.
well, so this brings me to the inside of this car. Now, I think this uses parts from the current Civic, which is what is underneath this car fundamentally.
Yeah.
But it's not the same dash, because the Civic has this full width vent, which is actually quite an
Oh
attractive
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Yeah, they made a thing of that on the Civic launch.
They've separated this, but it's still got this really nice, like, is that actually metal? I don't think it's plastic.
No, it's
but
like
it
a
feels
honeycomb type.
honeycomb, but it feels quality. Look at this. This to me is absolute
I love this.
Honda.
Yeah.
Joysticks, but then look, there's a little click to show it's in the middle, so just you can always center it back. So if you are,
So you don't get lost.
well, if you're just one of those people who likes things a certain way, you know, I can't leave climate control on a half increment. I just can't.
Can't you?
No.
I like experimenting with it.
No.
And while we're driving through urban territory at slow speeds, over speed ramps and manhole covers and stuff, what's this ride quality like?
It's, I would say, controlled.
It's really...
It's not soft. It has a sort
No.
of, it feels like it's got good damping.
But it can adapt because it's adaptive damping.
Yes.
So I'm in GT mode, which Honda says is kind of normal mode. And you can put it in comfort mode.
Shall I put it in comfort
Yeah,
mode?
which should
Just
soften
since
it
we're going
off.
through an urban area. Let's
Probably
see what,
make it a little bit more jazz.
No, it's gone. What's it doing there? Okay, so
So that
let's see.
softens the dampers off a bit, and I assume it softens the throttle response off because it makes it more economical, probably.
But yeah, this is what I would call it's a high quality ride. Like, it doesn't crash into things. You can hear that.
No,
but
yeah,
it's doing it,
that's
sort of
me.
soaking it up, but letting you know they're there.
Yeah, but it's so refined and quiet in here.
There's a sort of Honda-ness, which is, I think Hondas always feel weightier in terms of quality compared to other Japanese cars, without feeling as hefty as a trad German car.
Yeah,
It's a certain sort of Honda-ness,
yeah,
and this has got it. Not all Hondas in recent times have. I felt like Honda had lost their way a bit in a number of directions. They were
agreed.
just sort of floundering a bit, and some of their cars felt a bit cheap, but this does not. This feels...
No,
a fiver under £41,000, this.
it's just 40 grand. It weighs just over 1,400 keys.
Yeah.
And it's 0 to 62 miles an hour is a slow on paper, certainly 8.2.
Yes.
So, I mean, look, if I just knock it into sports mode,
Oh,
and we're going to come on to the transmission in a minute, because the transmission on this is apparently something that Honda's really proud of.
it's... I don't know if people watching can hear the engine there, the internal combustion engine, but it's not doing what you think it's doing, because we are, I would say, under these conditions, still being moved along by the electric motor.
Yeah,
So that petrol engine is just a generator that is
it's a
revving
confusing.
to top up the little battery.
It's complicated, but if you don't want to understand it, you don't need to understand it, because it just does everything without falter. But now you've got this
Go on.
huge button,
Punch
S+.
it, Chewy. Let's do this bit. Got it straight. Go on.
So I'm on the paddles, and it responds on the paddles with a stepped gear, but it's a synthesized gear.
Yes.
Is that right? So it's not actually a fourth gear.
No, it's a CVT, and what they've also done is those little jerks you feel on up and down changes are entirely fake. They
Wow.
are in there because they wanted to feel like a double clutch gearbox was the intention, apparently.
And it
Blips
on
but
the downshift.
this is and there's a part of me that I can't enjoy this because I know it's faking it, but it does seem to be quite impressively done. So
And
the
of
little,
course,
so
the
there you go, do an up
noise.
change now, and it'll do a little, and it's not. That is the electric motor doing a little surge to mimic what happens with a conventional internal combustion engine with a double clutch box. So it's all fake. But what's more fake is that they were at great pains to tell us in the technical briefing that the rev counter that comes in when you put it in sport mode
is true. It's telling the truth.
Yeah, those are the engine revs. The bit that's missing in the process is that the engine is still not driving the front wheels. They are making the engine rev. It's doing a job because it's charging the battery, but the main reason it's revving like that in sync with the road speed is to give the impression that it is a conventional internally combusted car with a double clutch box, and it's not. So the engine is in fact revving in space almost.
It's so bizarre, isn't it? And now it'll kick to EV only, and it says it on the dash. It'll kick back in a minute. So it's this weird juxtaposition between it is sporty, and they've gone to great lengths to make the car dynamic. We haven't really found some corners to properly tip it in, but I know that having driven the Civic R and the normal Civic, and you have too, the suspension on those cars, which this shares, it's phenomenal. You've got a great combination of ride and handling that is what anyone who appreciates car dynamics would want. So the Prelude then, I also must point out that both of us are, seasoned is the wrong word, Honda fans. We own some Honda material.
You have two Hondas.
I think I do have two. I did have three.
Okay.
No, I have got three Hondas. My children have got the Civic field car.
Oh yes.
I've got the Insight, the high mileage Insight, and I've got an Element.
There you go. I've got a Beat.
There we go. So we like Hondas.
We like good Hondas, yeah.
We like good Hondas because there's been some bad Hondas. I reviewed an electric Honda that wasn't very good.
But
a little while ago.
I mean, I like the way it looks, but I think it's very subtle. And actually,
yes,
that's sort of what Preludes always were.
Yes.
In the mind's eye, you sort of think of Preludes maybe with a big wing on the back, and they've been dropped, and they've got big wheels, and they've got a list of things down the door, and that's
modified.
Aftermarket modded Prelude.
Yeah.
Out of the box,
Yeah.
even with a fairly screaming VTEC engine, the Prelude was quite a subtle looking car.
Yeah.
They weren't Fast and Furious. They were cash in my pension, kind of tasteful retiree car, really. And I don't mean that as a criticism, that's just that there was a sort of understated quality to them.
They weren't shouty, and they weren't leery, they weren't aggressive. And actually, I've got a press release here. Because this car, aesthetically, the 6th gen model's exterior design is inspired by the timeless grace and elegance of gliders, while the compelling combination of engaging handling and dynamics is reminiscent of an acrobatic flight. So they've really gone to town on making you understand why they've created a simple shaped car, and that's what this is. So let's dig into the profile first of all. So this car is actually smaller than the outgoing Prelude. I
from
think that was
24 years ago. Yes.
This never happens in the new car industry, that they make the new model smaller. It just doesn't happen anymore. So they've made this smaller externally and larger internally. That's what Honda engineers have stressed to us, which is really cool.
But I like the fact that some of the details on the outside are quite subtle. You notice it's got a sort of little double bubble roof.
Yeah.
And this roof panel is laser brazed to the body side, so you get a very neat join. They hadn't had to cover it with an ugly little bit of plastic down there.
Yeah, there's no gutter.
That's nice. Like this here, look, that vent there, that's real, as in it's got an entry hole there, and that blows air through here. And then you've got this sort of sculpty bit down there, which I think's quite attractive.
Yeah.
And something they seem keen to point out is these arches, the way that these are hemmed and rolled, just allows the arch to be a bit lower and so closer to the tyre.
They're so prepping this for modifications.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I hadn't really thought about that.
Are they
but
priming
yes.
the aftermarket?
Because you do look at it in profile and you go, some sort of little wing here might be good.
There's a Muganny ducktail waiting, isn't there?
This, though, this bit, this rear window, reminds me of another two-door coupe from ye olde times of coupes.
I want to say it's the last of the Celicas.
I can see why you said that, but I was thinking of the Ford Cougar.
Oh.
The predatory middle-aged lady of coupes from the 90s and 2000s. It's just got a little bit of Ford Cougar about it there. Yeah. My favourite view of this, however, is, I think, rear three-quarter, because I like that light blade.
Yes.
Prelude written in a sort of Porsche-y kind of script on the back.
I noticed that. Lower case as well, apart from the H.
Oh, no, that's the Honda bit, yes.
Oh, the Honda-y bit.
It doesn't have an H on the back, it has Honda written, but everyone's doing that now, aren't they? Because they've realised people don't seem to recognise logos anymore.
No. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Seems weird, but it's still got an H on the front.
One of my, I've featured it on the Late Break Show numerous times, the Honda E. I am sure these door handles that are obviously flush for aero purposes, they're from the Honda E, I'm certain of it. Aside from that, there is no design language related to the Honda E. But we both, and we'll talk about this when we drive, we both have driven the new Civic, the current Civic.
Yes.
Which is a hybrid,
as
standard. And we both agree it's a very, very well put together car. It feels quality.
If I had to describe that Civic in one word, that word would be pleasant.
Yeah.
It's a pleasant car, and I, again, don't mean that as a criticism. It's just a nice, sorted, pleasant car.
Yeah.
I've forgotten to tell you a fun fact that links my British Leyland tattoo with the Prelude. Not this Prelude, but the Prelude as a family.
Yeah.
Which is that in 1979, British Leyland, or BL as I think they'd become by then, signed a deal with Honda, which first led to the Triumph Acclaim being made in
which was
the
a
UK.
great idea.
And then a sort of 15-year relationship developed from that between Honda and whatever BL was called that week. But to initially celebrate the signing of that deal in 1979, Honda gave British Leyland a Prelude as a gift, a symbolic gift. What's amazing about this gift of a Prelude to BL in 1979 is that the good people of BL didn't really know what to do with the Preludes, so it was just left at the Longbridge factory and it was used as a sight hack for people to get around and treated with absolutely no respect or reverence whatsoever.
Oh my gosh.
And then it has been belatedly rescued in recent years, and it now lives in the British Motor Museum in Gaydon. And they have, I think it was at Festival of the Unexceptional this summer, but yeah, the symbolic Prelude gift that was not treated with gift-like reverence by BL still exists and is now safe and not being sat in by Brummies in oily overalls.
That's ridiculous. The more I digest this car, the more I just can't decide whether I really, really dig it or not. I want to live with it for a week. And this happens with test cars, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get an instant yes or no, or I like this, I don't like this. With this, I'm like, I want to know more about it. I want to go on a second and third and fourth date with it. Got to talk about the blue Brembo calipers with Prelude written on them.
Yes, snazzy.
Yeah, are they 19s as standard, I think? This is running on 19s. Where are you at? I mean,
I think it's a very pleasant car, and I think it feels very Honda-y in that it feels high quality, particularly for the money, and it feels like they've put thought into it. They've done what they think is right.
Yes.
Now, whether that is right for a lot of people, I don't know. But then who wants a coupe?
Yeah.
You know, few people want a coupe, is the truth of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the same token, those who do want a coupe, do they want it to be aggressive and sporty, in which case this doesn't do the job?
It's not that. Or certainly not in a straight line.
Or do they want it to be easy listening and smooth?
Yeah.
Because this is, I mean, we haven't really been able to rag this. When we weren't filming, I did find a bit of road where I was able to press on a little bit. And
I think you might be able to put it in sport mode.
I did. I put it in sport and I put it in the gearbox manual thing.
Yeah.
Which the only thing is, it seemed to still be, when you eased off, then sometimes it would just change up without you asking. And I don't know. I've just not found the bit where it lets you to just.
Have you played with the regen yet?
Yes, I did before, and that sort of feels kind of handy. I quite like being able to decide on the regen. In no way does it feel like a Type R, but I suppose you can. I like the steering. The steering sort of, by modern standards, it's got a bit of weight to it. You've got something to work against, which is quite nice.
It's really important.
What do you think of the blue?
I like the blue a lot, but I like the white better. White.
They're very proud of the white.
Yeah.
What do they call it? It's got a name.
I've got it. It's in my book.
But it's a very, very pearlescent.
It's moonlit white pearl.
Moonlit. I think if you're a bit nerdy about this, of course, Japanese racing white is a trad colour for Hondas.
Yes.
And it's not that, but maybe you could consider it a twist on that. I rather like the white. But this blue is kind of zingy, maybe a little bit too attention grabbing for the subtlety of a Prelude.
Of a Prelude.
You have to pay, there's only 4 colours, grey, black, this blue and the white. And you pay 700 quid for all the colours except black you get for free, weirdly. I don't want to be too geeky about Hondas, but one of the things I think at their best is that they do know how to put a car together. And I'm just looking at that shut line of the bonnet and the way that it wiggles its way down here. And you've got there's a little bone line in that. So obviously you want that to line up. It would look cack if it didn't, but all of this would go off piste if it didn't. And look at that shut line is absolutely bob on and it's dead tight.
Yeah.
Those are people who know how to just put cars together.
You know when Honda does that thing that Honda sometimes does, and it just decides to build a car or a motorbike or a machine because it wants to, and it hasn't probably done the maths. They know it might not be. They've even said to us, Honda UK have said to us, they are hoping to sell, is it 400 of these in the first year?
They're bringing in 400 in the first year and they think maybe 500 in the following year. That's not a lot.
That's like Morgan levels of production.
It's not far off. Do they want it to do well in America or Japan or nowhere? I don't know. You're right. I think sometimes Honda go, we're going to do this because we feel like it and because it's the right thing to do because there aren't any coupes around. So let's make one.
Right. So all Preludes, they've always been front-wheel drive, haven't they?
Yes.
Always. They've had four-wheel steering.
They did. This one doesn't. But yeah, in the 80s, the Prelude had a mechanical four-wheel steering system.
Yeah.
Came out same time Mazda on the 626 put on electronic four-wheel steering. There was a sort of little four-wheel steering boom. And four-wheel steering has come back a bit recently. Porsche do it, Renault do it, did do it, and Honda haven't with this.
Yeah, Renault did it with their coupe, their Megane coupe, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Which was a bit weird.
Didn't like it, made your inner ear go funny. Anyway, this hasn't got it, so that's fine.
But what this does have is a 2-litre engine, and they're all hybrids now, mild hybrids, the same as the Civic as standard. When people saw the stats, the performance stats of the engine drivetrain of this, they were a bit disappointed, I suppose, on paper. And Honda have really made a point of saying, listen, it's not about the stats on paper. This car is so much more than that as a package. It's a real driver's car. It's 184 PS with the combination of that, and it's got 2 motors, hasn't it? It's got one as a generator and one as a propulsion motor or something. That's what I've read.
This is, yeah, you see, I'm not sure this is a mild hybrid. I think this is just a hybrid because but what's weird is, you know, sort of a lot of hybrids are series hybrids where you get parallel hybrids. This is kind of both. That internal combustion engine is for the most part, yeah, it's 2-litre. And when they quote 184 PS, that's about 179, 180 in old-fashioned, that's actually for the electric motor. This makes 164 PS, 160 bhp thereabouts. Yeah. But it's a generator for the most part. When you're driving along, we'll talk about this in a bit because it's a little more complicated than that. But fundamentally, this is an onboard generator. The thing that is driving the wheels is the electric motor for most of the time. almost all the time. Depends on how you drive it.
But all you need to know is it's got 300 newton meters of torque, which is delivered instantaneously. And like I said earlier, a lot of the suspension, the adaptive damping and the chassis is Civic and Civic Type R. We're going down a hill. I can tap on the paddles, and next to where it says D for drive, you're getting, I think, 7 different stages of regen braking, or one pedal driving if you want it in its most harsh form.
Yeah, because really, this is an electric car.
Well, it's like the Chevy Volt. They called it the range extender EV, right? That was what it was termed as, and it didn't see it should have taken off in a bigger way, because I think it was great, which is why I bought one. But I think a lot of people didn't get it. I really found it useful.
Yes.
And
it has it. But is it appropriate here for a sort of sporty car?
I see. It is refined. I think in just being in it for half an hour, we've proved it's refined. Is it comfortable? Yeah, you're damn right it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about the seats.
The seats. Now, this to me this is sort of very, very Honda. And if I was their chief accountant, I think I would be having a word, because the driver and passenger seats are different.
Yes.
The passenger seat is supposedly optimized for comfort. It has lower and smaller bolsters to make getting in and out easier, and so that you can just sort of, relax and chill out.
Yeah.
The driver has more aggressive bolstering, so they can, they're on their own in the car, they can chuck it around and feel well placed. The cushion apparently in your seat is firmer.
Yes.
We were trying to work out that is the headrest different?
I think the headrest is softer in the passenger, because we had a little swapsy earlier.
But it's that means,
how nerdy is that?
Well, the thing is, then you can't just, you have to make 2 sets of seats for right and left hand drive.
Yeah.
And that costs more.
Yeah.
So they've done all that, and it's one of those things, and I sort of feel this is probably very, very sort of representative of what this car is like. It's a very thoughtful, very intelligent touch that people probably wouldn't even notice unless they were told about it.
Completely. Honda has said that this is about man-machine interface and making sure that the driver gets maximum appreciation from all of it, not just all-out power, because like we said, it's over 8 seconds to 62, which is actually flipping slow these days.
I think that the Prelude, in Britain certainly, it's a silver fox car, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And
or silver lady.
Or a silver lady car. Now, if you got a bit of snow on the roof, I think you would be very happy with one of these, because in normal everyday life it will be very economical.
I've never heard that term.
Have you not? No. Okay, well, you know
I'm one of those people, and I still never heard the term. One
of those older people that others would describe as spry.
Yeah.
You're in good shape.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so occasionally you might just, you've got to go somewhere, you pop onto the bypass around your town.
Yeah.
You
dig into the sport mode.
You might just fiddle around with your paddles a little bit, but most of the time you don't need to, and then you've got a very quiet, comfortable, economical car.
I'm fascinated by the whole project, and there's a lot to like. I do like the way it looks, bar the front. I think I really like the way it looks. I love the way it feels, and you could do some serious miles in this.
I was just thinking that.
So you could eat some miles.
We're in the south of France.
Yeah.
If they suddenly said, look, I'm really sorry, but all flights are cancelled, I'm afraid you guys are going to have to just drive home to Britain.
Oh my gosh.
I think this would do quite well.
Yeah. The number of people that say, oh, this would be a good car to drive to the south of France, I think half the time when I hear that now, the car's inappropriate. It might sound great, but that'll get really f***ing boring after a while, and drony. And actually, what are you saying about driving to the south of France? Because really, the best cars to drive to the south of France are ones that are just a chill-out room.
Yeah. So I think the big question here, and the ultimate test of this car, is, would your old housemate, Harpal, be impressed if his cousin had one of these?
I think if his cousin just bought it and that Friday night they went street racing and he didn't tell Harpal what any of the technology meant,
Right.
or any of the specs, and he just started going into some corners hard and just leathering it everywhere, there'd be half a chance that it would get some respect. So the front end, it's going back to this glider inspiration that Honda project managers are so into with this thing. I think the combination of the headlights here and then going into this kind of beak, slight beak, is to represent the span, the wingspan of a glider.
Yeah. Doesn't quite work for me. It's got a duck face.
Yeah, I think it's the weakest part of the car. But it's got some blue details. There's a bit of blue down here, bit of blue down here. They're calling it black anodizing around here. I think it's just really glossy black, because it's plastic. And then these DRLs are sort of that frosted finish. Okay, this is my favourite part of the Prelude, believe.
Mine too.
Yeah, I think the back is definitely a stronger proposition than the front. And because there's no lips and spoilers and things, I kind of like the way that they've been so restrained with it. You've got that full width and it's quite exposed, isn't it? This full width rear light. It's nice with the Honda badge that you pointed out. Bit more gloss black going on at the rear here, and again the blue vertical little thing. I can take or leave that. But what I am deeply impressed with, Richard, please do the honours. Look.
It's an hatchback for a start.
It's absolutely massive. Now, we've got all our gear in here because, you know, you go on a launch, you get given a bag. And not so common with a launch, you get given a model to build when you get home of an actual Prelude signed by the development guy from the Prelude. So we're going to do that another day. But in here, this boot is gigantic. It's over 660 litres, which for a coupe is not just gigantic, but it's also a huge level of practicality. These seats will go down. We'll look at whether they're genuinely useful in a second. I might get you in the back.
Okay.
It might be like trying to force a crane fly into a matchbox.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to...
Go on.
Oh, now we see where I've fallen at the first hurdle.
There's a lever at the back.
Okay, yeah, got it. There we go. Oh, that doesn't slide, so I'm going to have to...
Is it not electric?
No.
It's like going back to the 80s when you get a lift with your mate's mum. And she's got a Celica.
Okay, I'm in.
Or a Prelude.
My head's not... Oh, it is in, but now you're going to
slam your...
cause me a cranial trauma by closing the hatch.
Are you genuinely going to... You're not going to fit in there. I'm going to do...
Clear.
I'll do it slow, all right? That's... That's it's not going to work. You're just smearing your skin on it. You skin smearer.
No, I'm going to say no. I mean, I am 6'3".
Yeah, so you're a long man.
My legs are all right. I mean, I've moved the passenger seat forward a little bit, and I would say that an actual adult can still get in there.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Headroom, no bueno.
So 2+2 or an actual four-seater? What would you? Is it or between the two?
It is not a four-seater. But what they've done here, this is like an old CRX. They haven't bothered putting the fancy leather and fabric from the front seats on the back seat. The back seat has this very basic, very plain cloth.
Yeah.
Because they probably know you're just going to chuck bags on it and things like that. So why make it any more luxurious and easily damaged than you need to? And there's the old CRX, I think the original CRX, the back bench in it was plastic covered because it was sort of, you know, they're basically saying this is the second class seat. Yeah. If you have to go back there, it's an emergency.
Yeah.
So they don't go to town on it.
Now, a second ago, I heard there was a little bleep because I think it was saying, hey, mild collision alert.
Yeah.
All the safety systems in the Prelude.
Ooh.
Oh, hello.
I mean, it's striding along.
Yeah, it's because of that torque. It's the 300 Newton meters, or 315.
I think it feels to me, in the limited chance I've had to be a little more exuberant with it, it feels to me like it has a pretty pretty nailed on front end.
Yeah. Oh, hello. It makes the noises.
It actually does when you get a bit of revs
It
on
properly
it.
makes the noises. Whoop.
Whoa!
It's an interesting beast, this.
Hang on. Right, hang on. You see, but bear in mind that engine is just revving to charge the battery. I think at that point,
It's very charging.
unless
the battery.
maybe when I really clogged it there, it'll help a bit more.
Yeah.
And it's not just it's effectively a static engine,
No.
but for an awful lot of the time, it is just a generator. So, just at speed, it's still got a little to give.
There'll be an army of people wishing this car had a K20 in it.
Undoubtedly, I'm going to put it in comfort mode because we're cruising. So why would I not? This is actually it's a really good cruiser.
It is a really good
The steering
cruiser.
ratio is just right for these kind of slightly bendy motorways.
I was going to say it feels so damn short. We're not pushing it, I know. It feels so damn short-footed.
We're making progress, and it's very easy to do. You know, I take one hand off, and I'm just there, and I feel
24/7.
I feel in control. I feel secure. I feel certain we'll make our flight on time, and that's all that matters.
You know, you could say this is blind optimism. You could say that Honda are going against the grain completely and going, everyone else is just building SUVs and crossovers and predictable blobs. And they're going, no, we're going to go back to these roots that we're so proud of. But the fact that they only say they are intending to sell 400 or 500 of them in the UK a year means that they're doing it as a sort of passion project, and they're going, hopefully it'll wipe its face in terms of costs, but we just want to do it. And this car reeks of passion. There's so many new cars on sale in my head that don't reek of passion whatsoever. In fact, they do everything in a distinctly average way. This is quite special, you know. There's lots of little special things that add up to a package that's just very, very satisfying and pleasing. But what it isn't an out-and-out sports car, and it's definitely not a showy car.
No.
So I think Honda could have made it faster. They could have made it louder, but they've trodden their own path in that way that Honda does, and there's a lot of it, which I very much like.
I would say a thoughtful car for thoughtful people.
Yeah.
And if that's you, maybe you'll be one of the few who will buy one.
And if it was a music album, I think it would be a grower. And I'd like to come back to this and drive it a long distance. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this new Prelude review with my friend Rich Porter here. If you haven't already, I'd love you to subscribe and have a listen to Smith and Sniff, our weekly podcast. We do 2 a week, actually. Don't know why. And if you haven't already subscribed to The Late Break Show, I'd love you to subscribe to The Late Break Show. We've got new merch and everything. Yeah. We've got a plane to catch, so we're going to go now.